Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be another romance recommendation. Today's romance recommendation will be on single parents. Before we get into the video, I know I just posted a romance recommendation video and I asked you guys which trope or subgenre that you wanted me to recommend next, and I always get age gap ones. I've done a video on age gaps. I don't feel like I have read enough new ones that I really love to do a part 2. I see it. I see your comments and it will come eventually. I haven't read enough new ones to do a full video on, but it is in the back of my mind that I will do a part 2 to that. Same with bully romances. That one was asked. The thing with bully romances is that I have read all of the popular ones, or a majority of the popular ones, and those are the only ones that I have liked and would recommend. A lot of other ones that are out there are reverse harem, and I personally do not like that. So I would only have 6 recommendations for bully romances, and they are all ones that you guys know of and that they're popular. I don't feel like I can fully do a video on that yet. At some point, definitely, like, that is on my list. So I'm sorry I haven't been doing recommendation videos that you guys have been asking for. It's because I don't have more recommendations ready for you. Eventually I will though, I promise. So I pulled one out of my long list of recommendation videos that I wanted to do, and that was single parents. I really love this trope or this plot in romances. It's one of my favorites. There is just something about kids that I really like in fiction. I don't know what it is. The ones that I'm recommending are characters that were already parents before they met their new love interest, because I know a lot of people don't like secret baby and stuff or surprise pregnancy, but they love single parents. So I wanted to make sure I didn't mix the two, but I'm gonna go ahead and go in depth for 6 of them, and then I will casually mention 10 other ones. So let's get into my recommendations for single parent romances. The first one that I am recommending is Sustained by Emma Chase. This is actually one of my favorites. This follows Chelsea, whose brother or sister die in a car accident, and she now has to take care of her 6 nieces and nephews. So she's now their sole guardian, and she's learning this whole new life and this whole new journey, I guess. And our male character Jake is a lawyer, and I can't exactly remember how he stumbles upon the family. I think he catches one of the kids stealing, and so he attempts to talk with Chelsea to tell her that her nephew is into trouble and stuff. He sees that she's struggling and kind of starts helping her, and they build this friendship that blossoms into a beautiful relationship and a beautiful family, and I'm obsessed with this book. I really loved it. There was also a cute novella that came out a couple years later that Emma Chase wrote, and it was perfect. I really love all of the characters, and the romance was just so good. I highly recommend this book. This is technically the second book in the Legal Briefs series, and the first book, Overruled, also has a single dad. I liked that one, but I didn't love it as much as this one, but they both are single parent romances. One that is a little different is Sweet Temptation by Cora Riley. This is a little bit more of a darker romance. I wouldn't say it's Cora Riley's darkest book, but it's definitely not a light contemporary, I will say that. This is also a marriage of convenience and age gap romance. It follows our female character Julia, who gets married off to Cassio. He's not a mob boss, but he, I think, like, runs a specific district or something, and he is a single dad. His wife has passed away, and in their worlds, marriages happen very fast and quickly, and Julia is very young. She's like 18, I think. 18 or 19. And she suddenly has to now become a wife and sort of a mother. She has to take care of these children that are not hers, and she has to adapt to this life, and Cassio is not the warmest husband. He's not the greatest guy, but I do feel like this is one of Cora Riley's sweetest books, if that makes sense. Like, the romance is actually pretty sweet once the characters get to know each other and once they fall in love. It's definitely a grumpy and sunshine romance. I loved the romance and I loved the characters, and the whole family was very cute. Definitely a very solid standalone from Cora Riley. Next I have to recommend is Irresistible by Melanie Harlow. This is the first book in the Cloverleaf Farms series. I really love this series. This first book is really good. It's not my favorite in the series, but it's still really good. This also has a little bit of an age gap as well. Our male character is a single dad, and he also is the CFO at Cloverleaf Farms. They do like venues and stuff. And our female character, her dad owns the company. She works as kind of like the assistant or like the receptionist. And she also sort of nannies our male character's kids. And it's super cute, really fun. There's definitely a little bit more of an emotional side to this book and this whole series, but I really loved it. Also, the fourth book, I'm pretty sure. Yes, the fourth book, Unbreakable, also follows a single mom. And I would definitely recommend both of these, but obviously I'd recommend starting with the first book in the series. Another one of my favorite single parent romance is Down Too Deep by Jade Daniels. This is the fourth book in the Dirty Deeds series. So this follows Nathan, who has been struggling a lot, and he is a recent new dad. And so he's struggling with this sole responsibility. In comes Jenna. She suddenly kind of walks into his life. She's a single mom to twins, I do believe, and they're a lot older. She starts offering her help to Nathan. She sees that he's struggling, and she obviously has a lot of experience with kids. Jenna is just helping him raise his daughter, and they build this very unique connection that eventually leads to them having this beautiful blended family, and I really loved it. It was just very sweet, a very cute romance. I believe the third book, Bad for You, also has a single dad in here. Yeah, definitely recommend both of these as well. The next one I have to recommend is Unbreak My Heart by Nicole Jacqueline. This is the first book in the Fostering Love series. I really love this book. This one was very emotional. This follows Kate, who has been in love with Shane forever. She has always loved him, and he ended up marrying her best friend, and so she had to really just hide how she felt about him. Shane's wife, Rachel, passes away in a car accident, and he is now left to raise all of his children. He's a single dad now, and he, I believe, was also in the military, so he hasn't had a lot of experience taking care of children and taking care of his own children. Of course, Kate comes around and she decides to be the bigger person and to help Shane out, but also help her dead friend. And obviously Kate still has feelings for Shane, so it makes it much more complicated for her, and slowly Shane kind of realizes that there is more to Kate. I liked both characters. I liked their journey and them just falling in love. I really love this whole series. It's really great. Very emotional, very heavy. I feel like this whole series deals a lot with children and with founded families and adoption and stuff. So yeah, definitely really enjoyed this one. And then the last one I'm going to go in depth for is A Nordic King by Karina Halley. I feel like I cannot do this video without talking about this book, because this book is amazing. I really loved it. It is one of my favorites by Karina Halley. This follows our female character who becomes the nanny for the King of Denmark for his children, because his wife recently passed away and he needs a nanny. Our female character gets the job, and this is also an age gap romance. I loved the characters. I loved the romance. I loved the little girls. They were so cute. And the whole thing about like their pet pig, I think, that was really funny. I would also obviously recommend this if you like nanny romances and stuff, but yeah, this was really good, and it like definitely stands out to me when I think of Karina Halley. Now I'm going to go through some other ones that I'm going to quickly mention. We have Eleanor Gray by Brittany C. Cherry. This is also kind of another nanny romance. It follows our two characters who were kind of high school sweethearts, I guess. They fell in love in high school, and then our female character moved away. Many time has passed, and our male character is now a single dad, and he's dealing with the grief of his dead wife, and our female character becomes the nanny. A little bit of second chance romance as well. Really loved this one. The Coppersmith Farmhouse by Devney Perry we have a single mom who moves to a new town and she falls in love with the town sheriff. Pipe Dreams by Serena Bowen. This is technically the third book in the Brooklyn Bruisers series. This is a hockey romance. It follows our male character who is a goalie and he's a single dad and he ends up falling in love with an old ex. I really loved this, and this is actually one of my favorites by Serena Bowen. But also, speaking of Serena Bowen, we have Boy Toy, which is also by Tanya Ebai, I do believe. This one is an age gap romance as well. It follows a single mom. The female character is older than the male character. This one was really fun. It's not my favorite, but I definitely think it is fun and fresh. Worth the Fall by Claudia Connor. This one I read years ago, so I don't fully remember a lot about it, but I did rate it pretty high. This is also a military romance. Our male character was in the military and our female character is a single mom and they meet on a beach. I think she's on vacation. A historical one that I would recommend is The Governess Game by Tessa Dare. Our male character is obviously a duke and I can't remember how. I think it's like a family member or something, but he ends up having these two orphaned daughters and our female character is basically the nanny. I really loved this. This is so far one of my favorite historical romances. Two hockey romances I'm going to quickly mention. Zach by Sawyer Bennett. This is the third book in the Cold Fury hockey series. This again is a single dad and a new nanny. Then we have Riker, which is the fourth book in the Cold Fury hockey series by Sawyer Bennett. And this is again another single dad to two daughters and he falls in love with the female general manager of the team. After All by Kristen Proby. This is the third book in the Romancing Manhattan trilogy. Again, another single dad and he falls in love with his assistant. And the final one that I have to recommend is Maybe Matt's Miracle by Tammy Faulkner. This is the fourth book in the Reed Brothers series. This follows Matt who has cancer. He meets our female character who I can't remember. I think it's like a relative of hers, maybe a sister or a friend or something, and she has to take care of their children because they passed away. Can't fully remember. It's been years since I read this book, but I really loved it and I thought it would be perfect for this video. I really love this series. Obviously, I recommend this fourth book, but I do recommend the whole series in general. That is it for this recommendation video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have read any of these books and what your thoughts are on them. And if you have any other single parent or romance recommendations, please leave them down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!